Ashley, and today I'm going to talk to you about George Washington as president. George Washington is remembered as the very first president of the United States. He was elected in 1789. He had already proven himself as a strong leader during the Revolutionary War, but his role as president was just as important because he helped shape the nation at its very beginning. I chose Washington because I believe that his presidency set the tone for how future presidents would serve, and his leadership still influences our country today. The most important parts of Washington's presidency was that he established traditions or precedents that other presidents would follow. Since he was the first president, there was no clear rules for how the office should work. Every decision he made would set an example. Washington created the idea of the presidential cabinet, where he would select advisors like Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton to help him make decisions. This showed that the president did not rule alone, but worked with experts and listened to different opinions. Another major precedent was his choice to serve only 2 terms. After 8 years, Washington voluntarily stepped down. He would have stayed in office much longer, but because the people admired him. They admired him so much, but he refused. This sent the message that the presidency was not a lifetime. It was not a lifetime job or a kingship. It was a position to serve, a position for service to the people. Later, that tradition became a law in the Constitution with the 22nd Amendment. Another important part of Washington's presidency was the foreign policy. In 1793, he issued a neutrality proclamation, which said that the United States would not take sides in the war between Britain and France. This was a difficult choice because many Americans wanted to support France, who helped us in the Revolutionary War. But Washington believed the young nation was too weak to get involved in European conflicts. But by staying neutral, Washington gave the United States time to grow stronger and build the economic build the economy and develop a stable government. His decision also showed that he wanted America to stay independent and not become tied down by other nations' wars. This choice was not always popular, but it proved his long-term vision for protecting the country. Washington also faced challenges inside the country. One of the biggest was the Whiskey Rebellion in 1794. Farmers in the western Pennsylvania were very upset about this new tax on whiskey, which many of them relied on for income. Protests turned violent, and it seemed like the rebellion could spread. Instead of George Washington ignoring it, he responded firmly. He called upon a large group of federal troops and even personally led them part of the way. Once the rebels saw that Washington was serious, the rebellion ended very quickly without any major battle. this was a powerful moment because it proved that new federal government had the authority and the strength to enforce its laws. Under the old articles of under the Articles of Confederation, the government had been too weak to handle problems like this. Washington showed that the Constitution gave the government the real power, and he was willing to use it to keep order and unity. At the end of his second term in 1796, Washington gave his famous farewell address. In this speech, he wanted Americans to be warned about two major dangers. First, he warned against political parties. Washington believed that the parties would divide the nation and make people put party loyalty above loyalty to the country. Even though political parties quickly became part of the American politics, his warning still feels important today. Second, he warned against forming permanent alliances with other nations. He wanted the United States to remain strong and independent and not get dragged into endless foreign conflicts. His farewell address showed how much he cared about the future of the country, even after he stepped away from power. In conclusion, George Washington's presidency was about much more than just being the first president. He built the foundation on how the office should work. He guided the nation through its earliest challenges, and he set examples for leadership, strength, and humility. His decision to remain neutral in foreign conflicts, to enforce federal authority at home, and to step down after 2 terms, all proved his deep commitment to democracy. That is why George Washington remains one of the most important presidents in American history, and why his legacy continues to shape our nation today. Thank you.